why is the third place person doing well and the second place person, who, by the way, has never run, Scott was mentioning before, said one of the amazing things about you, you've never run for office before. It's incredible how you're doing because
what about your
you've
brand?
never done.
Your brand
I
is
think
a
my
winner.
brand's doing great.
Donald Trump in New Hampshire on Tuesday being pressed by a reporter about his second place finish in Iowa and whether that finish damaged his brand as a winner. You heard Mr. Trump reflexively say his brand is doing great. But is it really? According to new data published in Politico, the Trump brand may be taking a major hit in the wake of his presidential campaign. For more on this story, we're pleased to be joined by a man who makes his living as a branding advisor to CEOs. It's Marc Rudov, Skyping in tonight from San Francisco. Marc, we really appreciate your time with us tonight on Newsmax Prime. And you were with us right after Mr. Trump made his big announcement that he was getting in the race. You said at that time his use of "Make America Great Again" was perfect branding. Is it still strong?
Well, that is still strong, but it takes a strong leader to make it happen. And the biggest reason that his brand is suffering is because he does too much whining. And he uses the U word way too often. And the U word is unfair. Now,
yeah, I thought the U word was going to be huge, but no, that has an H on it, just his pronunciation. So this mixing it up is not helping him. It started to hurt.
When you say things are unfair, think about who uses the word unfair most often. It's a child. Mommy, that's not fair. Daddy, that's not fair. The unfair word, he said that he would stay with the Republican Party if the Republican Party treated him fairly. He talked about Megyn Kelly being unfair. He uses the word unfair a lot, and it diminishes him. When you come from strength, and he has a lot of it, and from weakness simultaneously, they offset each other. So the more he calls things unfair, the more he diminishes himself. John F. Kennedy once famously said, life is not fair. And it isn't. Now, with Trump's accomplishments, he has a lot of strength. And there is no reason why he can't play to his strengths.
So yeah, let's talk about that. In terms of his strengths, you say, and the advice seems good, eliminate the U word. Don't talk about unfairness. But what does Donald do right that inspires such support? Because he still has people who are passionate about his campaign for president.
Well, first of all, Donald Trump is a highly accomplished person, and he connects well with people. And he is very skilled at that. And if he would just continue along the path of focusing on his strengths and talking about how he's going to make America great again, nobody in this race can touch him. Nobody. He was on another network last night, interviewed by a white-haired guy in a restaurant in New Hampshire. And he talked about how he developed land on the west side of Manhattan and how he had to overcome all of the zoning hurdles. That was very positive, very strong. He talked about how he got the post office right across from the White House and from the Obama administration, no less. Very powerful, very strong. If he keeps doing that, nobody can compete with him. But the minute he reverts to, I'm not being treated fairly, this is unfair, that's unfair, then he just, again, the unfair, the weakness and the strength clash, and he goes down. Now, I listen to a lot of talk radio.
Right.
And callers are saying, I used to be for Trump, but I'm switching to Rubio or Cruz because I'm tired of Trump whining. So it really does affect him.
Okay, so really, if we were setting up the ABCs for Donald Trump, it's eliminate you, eliminate unfair, concentrate on the first letter of the alphabet, A, accomplishments. 30 more seconds. What else should he be doing?
Well, in the Iowa, after he lost or came in second in the Iowa caucus the other night, he gave a very eloquent, gracious speech with humility. And when he did that, he looked very strong. And the very next day, he went out and started attacking Cruz in a very puerile way. All he has to do is focus on what he really knows how to do best, and he's going to win. But if he starts talking about things being unfair, and if he's afraid of Megyn Kelly, I mean, he wrote The Art of the Comeback. That also means come back with phrases, and he should be able to wipe the floor with any moderator in any debate, because he does have the power and the skill to do that.
And we'll see if he does that.
Strong.
We will see if he does that tomorrow night. Marc Rudov, who has put his own brand out there, advising CEOs, had a dose of advice tonight for Donald Trump. And Marc, we appreciate your time from San Francisco tonight. Thanks so much.
Great to be here.
So you heard what Marc had to say. Focus on accomplishments, Donald. Agree or disagree? Why don't you let me know how you feel about it by sending me your comments. Newsmaxtv.com/comments. Back with more after this.